Welcome back, everyone, to a Slice of Knightlife as we continue to talk about Rutgers athletics and as we begin a new season. I'm Bruce Beck. Along with me is Pat Hobbs, the Director of Athletics on the Banks. Pat, let's begin with the postponement of fall sports. How do you process it?
Well, it was a really difficult decision and sort of difficult to accept. As you know, there was an announcement on a Wednesday of our schedule. That schedule had a number of possible fallbacks all the way really to the end of September. And then over the weekend, based on some medical information that had come in, particularly I think about concerns about cardiac health, the decision was made by the chancellors and presidents to postpone the season, and we're now seeing when that may restart. Hard to know.
What type of procedures and protocols have you established to keep your athletes safe and your coaches safe, even if you're not playing right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate at Rutgers, both in terms of people and resources, right? So Dr. Josh Brashad is our Chief Medical Officer, and he worked with his medical team and with our trainers to really come up with a very, very solid set of protocols. I would argue maybe best in the nation. And then, of course, because of Rutgers developing that test, the saliva test first, and we had access to the saliva test, we're in a position to test our student athletes before they come back to campus, test them when they arrive at campus, and then to continue to test those student athletes to make sure that we're ensuring for their health and their safety. So Dr. Josh Brashad, he's done an amazing job. And then I also credit Matt Colgiovanni, who's my Senior Associate Athletic Director for Facilities, in making sure that our facilities were really prepared and ready for the return of our student athletes. So this has really been a team effort across Rutgers University. And so I feel very comfortable about the environment that we have, but this virus is very serious. It continues to kill people. And so we need to be vigilant.
Pat, there was so much excitement and energy surrounding the Rutgers football program with the return of head coach Greg Giano. How disappointing is it that you can't send that team onto the field this fall?
Oh, it's crushing. I mean, it's crushing. You're working towards something. We knew, obviously, after March 12th and the shutdown of basketball, that we were going to have our challenges. But we were hopeful. We certainly recognized we probably weren't going to have a full stadium as we worked through the summer. But Greg has worked incredibly hard. He's done an amazing job with our current team, but also in recruiting. And, you just had this visual of him coming out of that tunnel.
Right.
And, sort of have the time, there's a time lapse, but here's that same guy coming out of that tunnel. And people are really excited. They know what he's going to do with our program as we move forward. So disappointed, and whenever it happens, we'll all be really thrilled to welcome back Greg on the field.
In uncertain times, you need someone who has your back. That's why at Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, we make sure our health plans have all the benefits you need. Because everyone should feel like someone has their back.
A new coach for volleyball, excitement for field hockey, continued success for men's and women's soccer. So without competition this fall, what's your message to those student athletes and the coaches?
Yeah, I mean, this is a difficult time, right? When you think about these student athletes, they are Big Ten student athletes. Many of these are Olympic hopefuls, depending on the sport that they find themselves in. Many of them have professional aspirations. And for many of them, this is the first time in many years that they don't have competition in the way that they're used to it. So there's a mental health aspect to that. And Dr. Brashad and our Dr. Pete, our psychologist, are working hard to make sure that they continue to address the mental health needs of our student athletes. For our coach, it's frustration, but they understand why we are where we are. But sort of selfishly, I believe that all of our programs are now poised for breakouts. And as we talked about with men's basketball, just about to end the 29-year drought in getting to the NCAA tournament. Across the board, Rutgers Athletics is ready for a breakout in a way that I don't know that people fully understand just what's coming. And it is across our sports. It's wrestling, obviously, we celebrated 2 national champions. Caitlin has rebuilt programs at 2 schools and is going to do an amazing job here at Rutgers. You look at our baseball, our softball programs, all of them have had tremendous recruiting and really are ready for breakouts. And then you look at men's basketball, and they've had success recruiting. Vivian's been getting to that tournament for a long time. This is her 50th year coming up here. So we want to get everybody to play, but we want to do it safely.
Pat, where are we on the idea of football in the spring?
So we're continuing to look at a number of models where you could start as early as Thanksgiving. That's been out there. I know some of the other schools have talked about the various models. We're working with our TV partner, Fox. But in the end, as Dr. Fauci said, the virus will tell us, right? So that's going to tell us. And that's what you talked about, the testing, quality of testing, contact tracing. For the chancellors and presidents to say we'll begin, whether it's in November, whether it's in December, whether it's in January, they're going to need to have confidence about what's happening from a medical protocol, but also a protection to the extent somebody gets COVID-19. Every student athlete who contracts COVID-19 gets a cardiac MRI, gets an EKG. And so they're receiving the care that they need. And this is what we promised to them. We promised if you come to Rutgers University, you're an outstanding student athlete. We're going to take care of you, and we're going to give your parents and your loved ones the confidence that we're taking care of you.
Pat, finally, in 30 seconds or less, what's your message to the Rutgers community?
Stay positive, stay optimistic. The very best days of Rutgers athletics lies ahead. And we're going to have a lot of fun together. We're going to have a lot to celebrate. We got to get past this difficult time. So I would ask them to stay safe, stay well, do all the things that you should be doing to make sure that we don't spread this virus, and be ready for some tremendous Rutgers Scarlet Knight success in the years ahead.
Pat Hobbs, great to get some perspective from you during this pandemic, and we thank you for your leadership, my friend.
Great to be with you, Bruce, always.
And to all of our viewers, we welcome you back to A Slice of Knightlife. We'll be with you during the fall. We'll keep you updated. We'll have all things Rutgers athletics. I'm Bruce Beck. Be safe, everyone.